Welcome to Booked, Busy, and Building, the podcast for dreamers, doers, and everyday people making it happen. Whether you're building a business, a mindset, or a better version of yourself, this is your space to stay grounded, get inspired, and keep growing no matter how full your calendar gets. So if you're chasing your dreams and figuring it out as you go, this is your space to stay motivated and keep building. So tune in every week for new episodes. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Booked, Busy, and Building. Today, we are going to be talking all about what is really stopping you from reaching your full potential and achieving the success it is that you want and that you dream of. Because the truth is, you have to overcome this what if mentality and this mindset and really start believing that what you want is attainable and it can happen and it's real, and why could it not happen to you if these things can happen to other people? But if you're constantly living in this mindset of what if, then you're not even going to be able to realize that you are actually the one that is holding yourself back. And that is the problem that I used to have for such a long time. I was my biggest hater, and I always felt like, oh, someone else has this success, now I can't have it. But that cannot be further from the truth. That is the mindset that creates hesitation and self-doubt and fear, and all of these things can be the reason why your success may be delayed, or it can even be stopping you from reaching your full potential. So in today's episode, we are going to be breaking down this what if mentality and why that is never going to be able to take you to where it is that you want to be, how to overcome this negative mindset, and what to do literally starting today, right after this episode, to start moving with clarity, confidence, and action. So let's get started. Before we move into the actual topic today, you know we always do our weekly Booked, Busy, and Building check-in, which is something that we talk about at the beginning of every episode, which are 3 questions to ask yourself. So number 1 is, what opportunities are you stepping into this week and how are you staying booked? So for me, I am really stepping into being more of myself and really trying to be a little bit less serious on my social media, more specifically my TikTok and Instagram, because I feel like for the last couple of years since I started posting on Instagram and TikTok and really taking my social media a lot more seriously, I feel like I have taken it to a level where everything has to be a production and I really want everything to be like super serious. But I am realizing more and more as more people are posting on social media and as more opportunities are happening for people online, I'm like, I just need to be more myself. I need to be more just that fun personality side that a lot of people don't really see, because in real life, I'm very fun and bubbly and open. And I feel like on social media, like I said, I want everything to be this really good, concise production, but I just want to be more myself. And that is definitely a side that I want to start working on. So that is one thing that I am really stepping into. Number 2 is, what is taking up your time and energy right now and what is keeping you busy? So I am really trying to just put in the reps and do that boring work and not needing to have to get ready, and I just want to be ready. So when opportunities come, I am locked in, I'm good to go, and I can take on things, and I don't necessarily need to really prep or do any more work. So for example, I want to show up more on my socials and be even more consistent than I already am, and really follow a strict schedule with myself, because like I said, that quote that I really, really like, which is, make sure you are ready and be ready so you don't have to get ready when an opportunity comes and you're already locked in. And lastly, something that I am intentionally working towards for my future self and building is I'm really working on being on my phone less. I don't know why. I was just like, I have noticed that I am constantly going on my phone a lot more than usual, even when there is no notifications and there's nothing really showing up. I just get bored and I want to scroll on Instagram or TikTok. And so I actually just got this device in the mail today, which is called a brick. And you basically like brick your phone and it locks certain apps for you, or it can even lock your whole phone for you. And it does it so that you can focus more and really be a lot more productive. And I'm not the kind of person that needs these tools in order to be productive, but they emailed me and I was like, you know what, I'll try it out. I'll see if it actually is going to work. And my manager actually really likes it. So I'm kind of excited to try it out, see what it's about, and if it can actually make me a little bit more productive and be on my phone less. So I'll probably update you guys on that in next week's episode. But without further ado, let's get into the actual topic for today. Number 1 is, you need to take action before you are ready. So I am pretty sure all of us have had points in our lives where we think of a business idea or something really cool and exciting, and we think it's a good idea, and then instead of actually taking action on this thing, we stay in the planning phase for forever. We never move on, we never go forward, and we never really take action on that thing it is that we dream of or that we had an idea for. And these kinds of people that never do anything, they never start, they just think and plan and think and plan, and that is it, and it never becomes real, that is an example of staying in that what if mentality, or that never reaching your full potential type of mentality. And I relate to this a lot with specifically messages and DMs that I get from people and texts saying, I want to take social media seriously. I want to do this business idea, or I want to start this brand. Can you help me do this? Can you give me an email for that? And it's like, I get so many of these messages, and I've gotten so many, especially over the years, of all these things people want to do. And the thing is, like, I can give advice, I can help, I can really like give you what you want to hear, but at the end of the day, it is about really taking action and not waiting for someone else's validation or my tips or my advice. Like, I have no problem helping anybody out and talking to them, but after that, like, the hardest part is literally taking that first step towards whatever it is that you want to do. And so I make this content to encourage people that you don't need to be perfect. You don't need the perfect life or the perfect routine or any of these things to go after what it is that you want, or to just start and make your dreams a reality or come true, when what you really need to do is look at what's in front of you and just start with that. Work with what you have. I've said this in so many episodes. When I wanted to be a content creator, I didn't have the best iPhone. I didn't even have a camera for YouTube, but I worked with what I had, and I used my phone and I used my laptop, and I didn't have the best editing software. And even to this day, I still don't, but I work with what I have. So to be constantly trapped in this period of I'm waiting until I feel ready, that is a trap that you are always going to be in, because the truth is, and like I've said in so many episodes, no one is ever 100% ready or prepared to choose to chase their goals or their dreams and launch the idea and take the risk. No one is ready to go and choose the uncomfortable route, or to put their idea out there in the world, or to be ready for friends and family and random people on the internet to say something. Like, none of us are ready for those things, but the ones that go out there and still do something, those are the people that we look up to. Those are the ones that we admire, and that we're like, I want to be like them, or I want to choose a route like them. And that's why the people who make it at the top, or the ones who go out and do something, they are not the ones that waited. They're the ones that just decided, I'm going to get up and I'm going to do something, regardless of what they were going through or what was happening in their life. Remind yourself, like, you don't need all of the answers right now. You don't need to have everything laid out and perfectly ready. You don't need all of the things that in your head you think that you need, or because you see other people on social media with it means that you need it too. Like, the more that you think I'm not ready, or I'm going to wait for this, or I'm going to wait for that, you are constantly going to be in that waiting mode, and you're never going to reach your full potential or where it is that you want to be. Because honestly, success and all of these things that we admire about people, or that we see them achieve, like all of those things under the success umbrella, that is happening to people that just go and they put one foot in front of the other, and they just start and they just begin. They get out of that thinking, planning mode, and they just start, because that's how you learn, is by taking action and doing something rather than just waiting for the perfect moment. So success, or whatever it is that you want, or even that clarity that you are looking for, it is going to come after you take action, not before. Tip number 2 is start replacing what if with even if. So this basically means, instead of thinking what is the worst that could happen, or what if this thing happens, or what if this thing occurs, start thinking, even if this thing happens, I'm going to do this. Even if this happens, I'm going to move forward and work with this. Like, one of the biggest lessons that personally I have learned when it comes to being a content creator, or just being in like the self-improvement, self-journey, and self-employment world, like all of these different things, I've learned that our mind is really the biggest roadblock and the biggest obstacle towards stopping us from where we want to be. I have read so many different books on mindset, and I've listened to so many podcast episodes and YouTube videos, and I've just taken in so much information when it comes to mindset and psychology and the brain, and how your brain, like literally what you tell yourself and what you think, can really get you to either where you want to be, or you can stay stuck with where you are right now. And that is why so many people that are into manifestation and mindset and all those different things, like a lot of those people get further to where they want to be versus the people that stay stuck, because those people are still telling themselves negative things. They're still telling themselves they can't get to where they want to be, or they need to wait and they need this perfect moment. Like, there are two different kinds of people in this world. And so it's like, do you you want to be with the people that are like, what if I did this or what if I did that? Or do you want to be a part of that group of people that are like, even if this thing happens, I'm still going to move forward, or I'm still going to pivot and I'm going to try this. And so the reason why I say like this is one of the biggest lessons I've learned being in this industry is because how you think about yourself and how you choose to go with your potential, that is going to show, are you going to accomplish what it is that you want, or are you going to continue to be your biggest enemy? What if I fail? Take that mindset and make it be, even if I fail, at least I learned this. At least I was able to learn something new that I didn't know before. And just even having that small shift in language with how you talk about yourself or how you think about what it is that you are doing is going to make a massive difference in how you are going to show up with things moving forward. It's going to make a difference with how you face fear. Because again, if you think, okay, I failed, now I'm just going to move on, or maybe this wasn't meant to be, versus saying, okay, I failed, but I learned this, that's two completely different mindsets. Like the person that is like, I'm looking at the glass half full versus I'm looking at the glass half empty. And this what if mindset that so many of us have, that is what feeds into our anxiety. That is what feeds into all of these roadblocks and obstacles. And that's literally how we become our biggest enemy. And I have been through that so many times where I have told myself, like, what is the worst case scenario that could happen, instead of thinking, what is the best thing that could come from this, or what is something that I can learn from this kind of situation. For example, there's so many of us that have probably had jobs that we didn't want to take or that we didn't want, and years later we can look at that job and be like, oh my god, like this was such a pivotal moment in my life and it taught me this or it taught me that. Like I've had so many random jobs my entire life, and now I look back and I'm like, wait, I learned this from this job. I learned discipline from here. I learned time management from here, responsibility and leadership here, talking to people, people skills. Like I've taken so many of these things from all these jobs, and I'm like, it has taught me so much, even if in that moment I was miserable, or I just needed that job to get by, or I just needed something to fill up my time. We can learn from anything it is that we do. So remind yourself, like, failure, or even if you think you're failing, or even if you think something didn't work out the way that you wanted it to, that is a stepping stone in our life. That is essentially a teaching moment. And there is going to be so many moments where we have setbacks and we feel like we're behind and we're comparing ourselves to people online. But again, everything that we do up until this moment is a stepping stone. It is a teaching moment, and you are learning something new. So again, use this mindset of, instead of saying, what if I fail, look at it as, even if I fail, at least I tried. This mindset shift, that is what builds resilience. That is what is going to help you reduce fear, because instead of thinking, okay, what if this is the wrong move, or what if this isn't the right choice, you know that everything you do is a learning moment. It doesn't matter what it is, you are learning from those moments. And that is going to help you in the future, and you're going to look back and be like, wow, this is why this thing happened. And I literally mentioned this in last week's episode, which was a quote from Steve Jobs' Stanford commencement speech, which is where he says, you can't connect the dots looking forward, only backwards. And that is exactly what this is. You cannot connect all of these moments that are going to make more sense in the future. You can't do that when you are looking forward. You can only do it when you're looking backwards. Tip number 3 is trust yourself more than the fear. If you are stuck in this what if mindset, or this kind of spiral moment, what I think you really may be struggling with is self-trust, and you maybe don't believe in yourself as much as you should, or maybe you don't have as much confidence in yourself as you also probably should. I have also faced this so many times in my life where I am not confident in myself as much as I should be. I don't believe in myself as much as I should. And it's like, this is your life. You only have so much of it. Why would you not want to go all in on whatever it is that you dream of? Why would you not want to try and see what could happen from whatever it is that you were always thinking of, or that thing that is on your heart? You are probably afraid that you're going to fail and people are going to laugh at you, or you're going to be embarrassed, but it's like, you need to just trust yourself more than the fear. You need to trust yourself more than whatever the outcome is going to be, or however many years this thing is going to take, or however much time it is going to take. We cannot be so worried about what we cannot control. You need to be where your feet are and where you are in this very moment, and not worry about timelines, or when is this thing going to happen, or why did this person get this thing and not me? Like, you are probably afraid that you can't handle failure or embarrassment or change, but you can. Whatever the outcome is, you need to know that you can handle it. And even if it is your first time facing it, whether it is fear or embarrassment or judgment, you can do it. And you are so much stronger than you think. And the more that you do hard things and you show show up and put yourself in these uncomfortable moments, you are giving yourself even more proof that you can actually handle these moments. You are much more capable than you think, and you have so much more potential than you know. But it's like, if you never put yourself in those situations where you may be a little bit uncomfortable, or maybe this thing is a little bit hard, then you're never going to know what you can actually fully do. And when I took really big risks and really big jumps in life, and I overcame that, or maybe a situation was different than I thought it was going to be, in the end, I'm like, wow, I was able to take this leap. I took this bet on myself, and look at all of these things that I learned. Even if it wasn't the outcome that I wanted, it's like that gave me confidence, because confidence is not built by avoiding challenges or avoiding hard moments and roadblocks. It is literally built by going into these things and surviving them and coming out in the end. Even if in the moment you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that confidence going through these situations and through these moments, that is literally what makes you stronger and better in the end. So by constantly having the what if mentality, you are literally proving to yourself that you do not trust yourself, and you need to give yourself that boost of confidence and be like, I'm going to try this thing. I'm going to do this. Let's see what can happen, and start proving to yourself that you can handle what can happen. You can handle what comes next, and build your own confidence by doing hard things, showing up in those hard moments, not snoozing the alarm, not deciding to scroll on your phone before bed and picking up that book that you wanted to read months ago, going on the walk when you are feeling a little bit anxious or whatever it is. Like, show up in the moments when it is a little bit harder and prove to yourself that you can keep promises to yourself. You can do the things that are hard. And again, when you show up and when you actually do these things, you're building that confidence, you're reducing that anxiety, and you are proving to yourself, I can do hard things. Look at how I'm going to come out in the end. Before we get into the next tip, I want to take a moment to thank today's sponsor, and that is Valdez Agency. If you're new here, Valdez Agency is the media company that I founded to help ambitious creators, students, and young professionals actually get access to opportunities and real conversations about building something meaningful and going after your dream life. If you're a creator and you want brand deals, education, and a community that wants to see you win, then Valdez Agency is the place for you, and it is absolutely free to sign up and join. To apply and be in our creator community, all you have to do is visit thevaldezagency.com. You can also rate our podcast, Booked, Busy, and Building, after you're done listening, or even right now, if you enjoy the episodes either on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. And make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Booked, Busy, and Building Podcast, which posts the full episodes. Make sure you're also signed up for our weekly newsletter, Spill the Success, which has all kinds of resources and new drops towards mindset, career, creator economy, business, and more. And lastly, follow Valdez Agency on Instagram so you never miss anything that is going on, including our book club that is hosted virtually on Fable, where we read books monthly on self-development, mindset, and more, plus our newly launched broadcast channel, which is solely on our Instagram. Reminder again that all of this is free and everything is linked in the show notes, because trust me, we are building something big with Valdez Agency and we would love for you to be a part of it. So let's get back into the episode. Last but not least, tip number 4 is be a dreamer and a doer. Personally, this is my favorite tip of this entire episode, because your dream should always be your why, but your actions should always be your how. So why are you doing this thing? Why do you dream of these certain things, and how can you start taking action today? Let your why are you doing all of these things, pull you through those moments when motivation is not there, when you don't feel like doing the thing, when you don't have that energy in you. Remember your why and have that pull you through, and then be bold enough to actually execute on whatever the thing it is that you want. Like, that is going to be your how, because so many of us just live in that dream world. We live in that, this is my dream and this is what I want to happen. But then again, we immediately think, what if this happens? Or we think the worst case scenario. So be a dreamer. Like, I am all for having big dreams and goals and having ideas in your head that scare you, because you know that if you were to tell other people these things, they would say you're crazy, or they would say you can't do this thing. But in your heart, like, you really want this and you know that it can happen. So that's why I say be a dreamer and a doer, because you can't just live in that idea world all of the time. And it's not enough nowadays to just dream big, which is why I say you also need to move big. The most powerful combination that I think any of us can have is to have imagination and be creative and have really big dreams, but also line that up with execution. If I would have just wanted to stay dreaming of being a content creator, or dreaming of being a YouTuber, or dreaming of all these different things that I never actually executed, then it would have just been, oh, I want to be this, I want to be that. But it is different when you move and you execute. Hold these visions close in your heart and always think of it every day. Like, I am someone that right before I go to bed, I dream of the thing it is that I want, and right when I wake up, I'm already thinking about it. Like, it is just on my mind and in my heart 24/7. But I'm also bold enough to take action and be disciplined to make sure that what I dream of and what I want actually can happen, or that I'm moving the needle in some kind of way every single day. Like, being a dreamer and always imagining your future, or just imagining of the next big thing it is that you can do, that is something that I feel like so many people lack. Like, when I talk to people, or when I see people online that are kind of just living in this Groundhog Day, and like, they don't have big dreams, or they don't have big goals, or I talk to people and they're like, they're just satisfied with where they are, that is perfectly fine. But you also need to surround yourself with people that have big dreams and goals, and they are also executing, and they are doing things to get closer to where it is that they want to be. And your dreams, that should be inspiring your daily action and your daily habits. I think I've said this before in my other episodes, which is that I am someone that thinks about my future self. I think about, who do I want to be in the future? Who is my dream future Pamela? Who is it that I want to be? And how can I start showing up as that person every day? When I think of my future self in 5 to 10 years, I'm like, she drives this car, she lives in this kind of place, she dresses like this, she wakes up at this time, she works out, she reads these kinds of books, she goes to these conferences, she posts this kinds of content. And it's like, I think of that dream future self, and I'm like, how can I start showing up as that future Pamela today? And that is literally what drives my daily habits, even if it is romanticizing the future a little bit. But know that, like, you need to start that process today. Start showing up as that person today. And if your routines and what you do in your daily habits are not aligning with your goals, your dreams are never going to become a reality, because you're still not matching up to who it is that you want to be. Again, you don't need to have all of the right tools, or all of the right materialistic things, or the correct things right now, or whatever it is. You don't need to have all of that stuff right now, but it is about just showing up and moving like that person starting today. You don't need to wait for the perfect conditions. You don't need to wait for the right moment. You are literally just moving. Every successful person has started with whatever they had, and they didn't have a full roadmap, but they knew in their head, okay, this is kind of the idea of where I want to go. I just need to put one foot in front of the other starting today, and then life is going to open up for me. Opportunities are going to come for me. Things are going to start aligning, but I need to start taking action today. So that is why I say start now, but be a dreamer, but also be a doer. Have big dreams. Have whatever it is that you want to do on your heart and on your mind, but make sure that your actions are also aligning with that. And I promise you, life opens up for you, and so many things will start aligning and happening. Thanks for tuning in to Booked, Busy, and Building, where we keep it real, stay growing, and are always showing up for ourselves. Remember that you're not behind, you're in the middle of becoming, so keep building what matters, and the life you want is already yours. And until next time, stay booked, stay busy, and keep building.